and welcome back to the channel. I am your host King Zeus, and today we have another exciting video talking about crypto and blockchain play to earn games. When we left off in the last video, we had just purchased max level summoners for competing in Diamond League. Today we are actually going to raise funds from a different game called Gods Unchained so that we can accumulate more assets in Splinterlands. And so I wanted to go over that in more detail. So first, Gods Unchained is a really exciting game. It's a lot of fun. It's more fun to play, in my opinion, than Splinterlands is. But the problem with Gods Unchained is that the economy and the community, again, in my opinion, isn't as developed. It isn't as good as Splinterlands is. And as a result, I expect that the digital assets, the NFTs in Splinterlands, are probably going to go up in value more rapidly over the next year or two, 3 to 5 year time frame, in the short term and in the medium term. So as a result, my plan is to liquidate some of my assets here in Gods Unchained and then move those assets over into Splinterlands, where I'm going to accumulate more cards, in ownership and renting to get more rewards. So the first thing for Gods Unchained is the third-party marketplace TokenTrove. It's really useful. It's much better than the normal IMX or Mutable X marketplace for Gods Unchained. You can see here that the collection value for me, this is my account, is 0.6242 Ethereum. And we'll put that in here. That's about 1,132 US dollars. I have already started listing some of my digital assets here, some of the cards, and I have gotten a bunch of sales already. I am keeping some of the cards for some of my favorite decks, like the Zombie Death deck, but I'm going to be listing most of everything else. And then as funds flow in from these sales, I'll be moving the money over into the IMX wallet and then over into the Ethereum wallet, and then I'll push it over into DEC so that we can go into PeakMonsters and buy cards as well as bid for cards. I have started doing some research about the first set of cards that I'm going to be targeting. We're going to focus on neutral monsters, and there'll be a different video coming up soon where we do a lot more of that. We're going to focus on some of these max level reward cards as well as some of the best cards in the game for neutral, for Chaos Legion, or for the modern format. And then some of the other cards, I've identified opportunities where bidding instead of buying can probably save us a lot of money and be a lot more useful. And as I mentioned, I will show in more detail how to use the bid system in Splinterlands versus simply buying outright through the PeakMonsters third-party marketplace. And so it's all pretty exciting. Later today, I'm going to go ahead and rent out cards so that we can start playing, competing in events, and also competing in brawls along with my guild. And I'll do that with some of the funds that we will switch over from Immutable X and from the Gods Unchained marketplace. And as I mentioned, that's going to all be pretty exciting. We have a lot of really cool things coming up soon for Splinterlands. The land gameplay is coming up pretty soon. I'm also going to be buying a plot of land relatively soon, at some point this month. And just really excited to see everything, all of the changes that are going to be coming up, and that's all going to work out really cool. If you enjoy seeing more information and more details about my journey through the blockchain, through the metaverse, please like and subscribe, and we'll continue pushing out new videos each day, going over progress, plans, ideas, strategies, and it's going to all get pretty exciting once we start to see the results later on, as hopefully some of these assets appreciate in value. Thanks again for tuning in, and please check back for another video coming out soon. So some time has gone by, and we have actually moved some funds from selling assets in Gods Unchained over into the Immutable X wallet and then converted it into DEC, Dark Energy Crystals, which is one of the main cryptocurrencies that you earn in Splinterlands and that you also need in order to purchase cards or rent cards on the marketplace. And that's what we'll be doing in this part of the video. We are going to go into the marketplace, rent some cards for the season, the rest of the season coming up. There's just under 12 days left, and we're going to be trying to get as many diamond chests as we can through the rest of the season for each of the daily focuses, and then also for the season end of rewards. The best place to rent cards is the secondary marketplace, which is called PeakMonsters. There's a section here at the top for rent, so we'll click on that. And then we're going to use the filters so that we can go in and make it easier to find what we want. We are interested in max level cards in order to try to compete for these diamond chests. And we're going to start off with the neutral cards, and also for the Chaos Legion set only. That's just where I like to start, and then we'll kind of move forward from there. Also, we're going to look for gold foils. If they have really good deals for gold foil cards, I like to prioritize that because as I mentioned, we do want as many chests as we can get. Gold foil cards give bonuses. As many cards as you have, the bigger the bonus is in terms of the SPS rewards, and also in the reward shares that determine how many chests you're going to be able to get. And so we're going to start looking here. These are the prices per day for each card, and it's really cheap. So the price of dark energy crystals right now is 0.0008297. So when you see a card like this, Uraeus, which is 3 mana, sneak with poison, maxed out and gold foil for only 15 DEC per day, it ends up being really, really inexpensive. And so we'll just go out and grab a bunch of these cards, the ones that are not costing much, and then we'll keep moving forward and getting good cards that we can use through the season going through. And we're going to start with these that are just really good. Legionnaire Alvar at 91. That might be a bit expensive. The same thing with Spirit Hoarder. So we'll hold off on those for now, and then we'll check and see what the non-gold foil options cost. These aren't cards that I use all that much, so we're only going to focus on the ones that are really inexpensive, under 50 DEC. So this one, for example, is right at the borderline of what I want to pay, but we'll grab it because it is pretty useful in a bunch of situations. Zenith Monk is one of the best cards at only 4 mana, so we'll get that even though it's 84. Scavo Hireling is great. Disintegrator is very useful, especially in melee only rule sets, so we'll grab him at 43. Dr. Blight is probably the best card in all of Chaos Legion set. 483 is really expensive per day if you're going to do it for 12 days, but that card is so good that I may just go ahead and pay that anyway. First, let's see what the comparison is for the non-gold foil. So same thing here. So there's only one left. We may go ahead and grab that. Let's see. So the non-gold foil is 362. So it's only a difference of around 100 or so, and so we're going to go ahead and grab it. We'll grab it here because you can get some PKM airdrops when you spend a lot here on PeakMonsters. We won't get that. Supply Runner is an amazing card. We will splurge for that. And the rest of these are probably a bit too expensive. So we're going to grab these for the rest of the season, 12 days. They may get canceled, but hopefully they won't. To put in the Hive keychain keys there. Orders processed in the background. And now we'll look at some of the other splinters. We're going to start with Dragon. There's not that many cards in Chaos Legion for Dragon. So let's see. This one is just isn't useful. It's not any good, so we won't get that. Jin Chwala is great. Naga Assassin is great. This is a useful card. Desert Dragon comes in handy a lot. Chaos Dragon Max for 75. I think that we'll go ahead and grab that. I use that a lot. Carnage Titan I use quite a bit. This is a great price for Dampier Infiltrator. This is not a good price for Void Dragon or Quicks. And so, Ruse. So this is also an amazing card that I'll use a lot. So we'll grab that. And 108 here. And the rest of those cards, we'll take a look at the options in non-gold foil. All right, so we're back to the filters. We're going to go to blue now because that's one of my favorite splinters to use. Geno Shannis at max is at a great price, 23 for gold foil. That's incredible. Tide Biter the same. It's pretty early in the season, so you can get much better prices when you rent this early in the season. And you just hope that whoever owns the card doesn't cancel the rental before the season is over. But even if they do, I'll show you how to notice that that's happening, and then you can just go back and rent the cards you need again later. But the whole process is much easier when you do it this way. This is a good price, 14 DEC. Bakjira is an amazing card, but 150 is probably a bit too high. So we'll look at the non-gold foil option for that. This is a great price. Not good. This is great. This is acceptable. 21. Demon Shark is an amazing card. We'll splurge for that. Flying Squid, that's a good price. 36. Let's see what else we have here. This is a good card. It can be very useful. Oh no. Looks like this is outdated and 112 is too high, so we won't buy that. That's a bit too high for that card, which isn't all that useful. And that's it for blue. So we'll get these for the rest of the season. Confirm. And we're moving forward again to green, which is my next favorite splinter, the one that I use a lot. Isa, we're going to probably use Magic. But you know what? 22 is pretty cheap, so we'll go ahead and grab that. We'll grab Jin Bilshka. 100 Jarks we don't need, even though the price is good. This card, let's go ahead and get that at 33 for max. 8 for Venari Seedsmith is amazing. This can be useful, especially with Thispa to give them phase. Makes it really hard to hit with the flight and the dodge. There's some other things, metas or synergies that you can use with that card that I'll show you coming up soon. This card is amazing. It's really useful. And this is great. And so at the end of this season, we're going to count up all of the cost of the rentals and we'll compare it to all of the rewards that we get. We're also going to use these cards in events so that we can earn additional SPS and in brawls where we'll earn big chunks of SPS as well as merit for gladiator cards. And you'll be seeing that throughout the channel going forward, all of the different ways that we'll use these cards over the next 12 days to really maximize the return on investment as you invest big chunks of DEC to rent really good decks, really good cards, gold foils, and max cards. And so it should all work out. One of the cool things about the reward structure in Splinterlands is that it's sort of like a lottery system where if you're lucky, you can earn massive rewards, and sometimes you're not as lucky, and the rewards that you earn are not all that great. So Some of it is going to have to do with luck in terms of the reward chest, but we'll see how that goes. So there's 3 more. We're going to do fire next, and we're just going for cheap max gold cards now. And then I'll end the video after I'm done with that, and then once I'm off recording, I'll finish up the decks with a few other cards, some of the non-gold foils, and just other cards that we'll need to make competitive decks to climb in Diamond. And then in the next video tomorrow, we'll show some battles, some brawls later in the week, some events, and also we'll open up a bunch of reward chests so that you can all see the types of rewards and the types of earnings that we can receive while playing this game and investing in some of the digital assets and NFTs in this game. And so that's what we're doing now, is just renting these cards, which are all NFTs from other people. In the future, we will continue buying the NFTs so that we own them, and in that case, we won't have to rent them from other people. But it's way cheaper to rent than it is to buy. And so if you're looking to get started in this game, earn rewards, try to get some funds. Renting usually is the way to go if you're a beginner or if you're new to this game and to this ecosystem. And so that's what you're seeing here, is one of the most efficient ways to do that at the highest levels at Diamond, and being able to possibly even compete at Champion League. And you can also use these gold cards, as I mentioned, in events and brawls as well. So you're able to see here pretty much all of the best cards that I think are most helpful for competing in Diamond. I have the Max Tarsa in non-gold foil. I own it now. So I focus mainly on melee cards for that particular set. And now we just have 2 more splinters left to go. We're going to light next. This card isn't really useful, at least for me and what I like to play. Jared Scar is one of my favorite cards in the entire game. So to get that at max for only 37 DEC per day in gold foil is really a coup. It's really good, and I hope that a lot of these cards stick with me through the season. But there probably will be a few cancellations, and we'll just have to go back in and re-rent the cards that get canceled. And in the meantime, we'll really take advantage of the cheaper prices in the rental market that you tend to see early in the season. Usually the prices go up dramatically as the season nears to an end, because that's when a lot of players want to get in and try to run up their end of season rewards and make sure that they have the collection power that they need in order to qualify for the rewards as the season ends. And so it's a really good strategy to come in early and try to rent as much as you can for these cheaper prices and maintain those rentals throughout the season. Although some are likely to get canceled, as I mentioned, it's also very likely that we'll keep a lot of these really good deals through the end of the season. And other people who rent later might be paying 2, 3, 4, sometimes 5 or 6 times more than what we'll be paying, because we locked in these good deals early on when the prices were a lot lower. And so that's a big part of my strategy and what I try to accomplish as we go through a lot of this process. Time Meddler is at a pretty good price. We can probably find some use for that. I love sneak options. So even though this is a bit pricey, I'm going to go ahead and grab that in gold foil, because I'm sure that I'll put it to use quite a bit. And so 6K for 12 days in the light splinter is acceptable to me. And next we'll do the depth splinter, and then we will end this video And but you'll see me again tomorrow, where we'll show some of the battles and some of the strategies for earning as much return on investment as possible after you go in and get these cards that you'll need to compete at the highest levels in this game. All right, Ever Hungry Skull. It's a great card. Corpse Fiend is great. Venari Bonesmith is an amazing card. Crypt Beetle comes in handy in certain rule sets and it's super cheap, so we'll grab that. Carrion Shade is only 1 mana, so it ends up being important in a lot of situations, especially the low mana cap battles. Rooting Water is really underrated. The Rust and the Amplification for only 2 mana are amazing abilities. We won't need Dahlan. Jin Murat, a bit pricey. I think we'll skip that for now and stick to some of these cheaper options. We won't need that at that price. Soul Strangler is at a great price. It's very useful. Riftwing is at a great price. 17 DEC, love to see that. Shadow Snitch is very useful in the Little League rule sets and some other rule sets. Dampier Stalker, Cursed Wendigo for 60 is an amazing card. Silent Shavi at only 29 is a steal. Let's see. Arachnid Thug we don't need. Ra is way too expensive. Cobblers is too expensive. And Night Ghoul we won't worry about. Dampier Stalker. We'll see about getting that at a cheaper price later. And alright, we'll get all of these. And that is how you run a bunch of cards pretty efficiently that you can then use for multiple different splinters while competing in Splinterlands. And you'll now see that my power is 1.3 million. The game is already updated. All of those cards that I've rented as playable. And that's going to allow me a lot of options to go in and win battles, compete in events, and really be as successful as possible as we try to earn rewards in this game. So thank you all for tuning in. Please like and subscribe if you enjoy this kind of content. And I look forward to creating more videos and showing you all the power of play to earn blockchain games and how you can earn money just playing games and having fun. It's an exciting thing to do. It's a great hobby. I look forward to seeing you all again sometime soon.